Okay, I've set up the recording so that you guys can check it out later after this. So let me just share my screen and continue. So what you're going to do today is I'm just going to come here. I've just shown you guys a demo of what you're going to be doing today, and I hope the recording is working. So yeah, let's see how we do it. So what I'm going to do is I've already set up somewhere. This is my folder. So I'm going to create a new folder right here and call it Netflix 2.0. Okay. And I'm just going to minimize this right here. Maybe I can just put it like that. Then I'm going to come start my Visual Studio Code. I think this should be automatic by now. This should be like motor skills, like you just know how to create a new folder and all that. So it's not like I'm going to do too much time on how to create a new folder. So this is where my project is, right, guys? So I think somebody wants to join something. Oh, okay. So I think we should continue. So this is where I am right now, and this is where I'm going to set up everything. This is where I'm going to set up everything. So this is the design, and once your senior developer or your product manager comes and gives you this project to tackle, right? They give you such a project to tackle, and they want you to design this, right? So how I like to do it is to just segment the whole thing, okay? Instead of seeing it like a whole thing, I just start seeing bits by bits, okay? So I'm just going to take a pen or something. I don't know. So the first thing I can do is probably there's this Netflix part over here. There's this is the logo, right? This is the logo right here. And then we have the login kind of button right here. And we have this part over here, right? And so this is like the hero section, okay? So when you hear somebody talking about the hero section, a minute. So when you hear somebody talking about the hero section, they mean the catchy part, okay? So every good website has that catchy part that just draws your eyes, okay? That just soothes your eyes. So there's this part over here. So maybe I can just take it again. So this is called the hero section over here that you're going to see over here. It's called the hero section. So this is going to be I don't know, it's going to be like a container by itself, okay? So I like to see things as containers. So what I'm going to do is everything in this project that you're seeing, everything that you're going to see is first of all going to be in one container, okay? Itakuwa kwa bucket moja, one container. It's going to be in a div. One div. A div is a container, a bucket. And in that bucket, I'm going to store the hero section. And what do I mean by hero section? Hero section is this catchy part, right? This whole part, okay? I'm going to store this part, then I'm going to move down over here, going to add a new section over here, okay? I'm going to add this part over here and, just move on. I'm sorry for the background noise, but I hope you guys can still hear me properly. So I'm going to continue with all this. So I'm going to probably go back now and have this continuing. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do, of course, is I'm going to need my HTML file and my CSS file. So I'm expecting by now, you need HTML and CSS for you to develop a good front end, right? So that's what I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to come right here and create my index.html. I said you can call it whatever name you want. You can call it pizza.html or Kawasaki.html if you like bikes like me, or whatever you want. So but I'm going to call mine index.html. The next thing I'm going to do is have a styles.css, okay? So I'm moving a bit fast because the build is also not that easy. So I want it to be done in like 2 hours. So that's why I'm moving a bit fast. So what I'm going to do is, by now I've already shown you guys how to generate the whole HTML document. But if you don't remember, you can just type DOC, okay? DOC for doc, and then if you hit tab, it's going to generate the whole HTML file. And I'm just going to change my resolution for you guys so that or I don't know, I can just extend my font so that you guys can be able to see. I'm going to just type font or something. Font size, I'm just going to take it to like, I don't know, 18 so that you guys can be able to see exactly what I'm doing over here. So I think that's a good font. So I think you guys will be able to see what I'm doing. So this is my HTML file, guys. I know you've already covered all this stuff, so I'm not going to dwell too much in that. So this is the build again, and we can see that the heading is up here. It's Netflix and then clone, okay? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come here to my document and type Netflix clone, okay? That's the title of my website, okay? And then we talked about having this whole part, okay? I'm just going to highlight it again for you guys. Just going to highlight it again. We talked about having all our app in a specific div, in a specific container, and this hero section that I'm marking is going to be in that kind of bucket. So if you're given a complicated layout, you want to try and break it down and see how you can be able to break it down and then combine it. Anyway, maybe that sounds like Greek right now, but I'm just going to show you exactly what I mean, okay? So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to come here and I'm going to create a div. A div is a bucket, okay? It's a container. So I'm going to create a div and call it something like Netflix. Netflix, I don't know, wrapper, like it wraps the whole. You just give it a meaningful name so that when you're going to style it, you know, hey, I'm styling this particular part of my site. So you don't want to call it one or something. So that's my class, okay? So it's a div, but then it has that class. You want to give it a meaningful name because if you don't, then if you call it just one, when it comes to styling, you'll be like, what is one, okay? So you need to give it meaningful names over here. So this is where all my code is going to be. I know I can put it in the body, but I want my styles to be here. So what I'm going to do is, the next thing I'm going to do is probably just dive into my hero section and all that. So my hero section is this part where you can see the background image and all that. I already did this before. I already did this design before, so I'm just going to also fetch it up. Should be on my desktop somewhere. Should be a Netflix clone somewhere. I'm just going to fix it so all the problems that I faced maybe then I don't have to I don't have to go through them again because of course of time. I already debugged a lot and I already made a lot of styles. So I'm just going to maybe highlight as I move. I'm still going to redo the whole thing, so don't worry that like I'm going to do that for the images and everything. I'm just going to copy and paste them around here. So I won't be like researching everything from scratch again, of course, because you only have like 2 hours. So I already did this before, so that's why but maybe I can just increase the one that you're going to be coding on like that. Uh, so I'm going to admit that guy. Okay. So over here, if you check what I did over here, I'm just going to come up here again. So I have the Netflix net movies. I call it net movies. Okay. Net movies, okay? So this is the title. This is what going to appear at the top. I'm going to show you how it appears again. So over here at the body, then I said everything is going to be in a certain kind of wrapper, okay, like a big container, so that it's easier for me to kind of style it out. So then what you're going to do right now is tackle this hero section part. So what do? I'm going to find a container and put all this hero section stuff. So this I'm going to do it. I'm going to come down here and say dot Netflix hero section. Okay. Okay, this is my hero section. Okay. So the first thing we need is, of course, this Netflix background image, this awesome image. I spent a lot of minutes and I spent a lot of, I don't know how long I spent, but it was really hard finding a perfect image. So since I already found it, I won't go online and start searching for it again. So I'm just going to start the hero section here. So this is how you want to put things in a container, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do in my hero section is probably have the overlay. What do I mean by overlay? Okay, overlay is okay. I'm just going to show you how it looks like. I won't add it for now. So I'm just going to have that background image, okay? And the background image I'm referring to is the one behind this Netflix and this logo stuff. That background image that's a bit dimmed out, we need that. So I'm just going to fetch it over here since I already found it online somewhere. I'm not sure I found it, but I'm going to share this code so that you guys have it. So I'm going to have that image over there. And then so what you want to do is probably have now the hero section because after apologies because of that. After that, you need to have the logo and everything. So also that comes into a different kind of container. So I'm going to come down here and create another div, another container, and call it hero section content. Okay, it's the content, it's the paragraph and everything. I said you have to give it meaningful names so that when it comes to styling, you know what you're styling. So again, I like to give my code some comments so that if I say top bar, you know what I'm talking to. Okay, what I'm talking about. Apologies for that. So what I'm talking about is this top bar, the Netflix, and this the sign-in part. Okay, that's what I'm talking about right now. So for my top bar, of course, it's going to be a div. Okay, so I'm going to give it a div, call it hero top bar. Okay, and then I'm going to have a logo up there. I'm going to have a logo, so I'm going to logo, and then my logo is just a H1 that says Netflix. Okay, don't worry, I know it doesn't look like anything much, but you're going to style that logo to look like the Netflix logo. So the next thing I want is the hero sign in. Okay, the hero sign in thing, and I'm just a span is like a paragraph. Okay, you can put a paragraph, whatever you want in here. So as I said, I already did this before, so I won't spend a lot of time debugging and all that because of time. So what I just did is I created this heading and I created this span, the one that says this one that says a login. Okay, so that's what I did right now. So after that, then I have to create these paragraphs. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do next. Okay. So it's not that complicated, guys. It's that easy. So I'm going to move outside my top bar. My top bar is this container, right? So this top bar container has the logo and it has the sign in, okay? So I'm going to move out of that logo, the top bar, I mean, and then I'm going to have the text, the hero text. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another one and call it Netflix hero text. Okay. And what I'm going to do is what I'm trying to do right now is get these paragraphs and everything. Okay. That's what I'm trying to do right now. So I'm not going to type it again. As I said, it's just H2s and paragraphs, which I've done like in the last two sessions. And this is just normal text. I know you know that. So I'm not going to spend much time saying why H2 has shows and more. So you guys understand that. So that's how I did it. Then the next thing is this particular sign in part. Okay, there's this kind of div right here where you put your email address, and then there's this kind of button that says get started, right? So that's what I'm going to do right now. And okay, when I gave you that particular assignment on forms, I think I gave you that particular part. It was okay. A form is what you use to submit data from the front end to the back end. But don't stress too much about that, guys. It's not part of the lesson today about the whole submitting thing. I just want you guys to know how it's done, how it's put in the HTML. Then you're going to talk about the functionality later on. So it shouldn't be something that worry you guys. So I'm going to just come down here, okay? After not after the paragraph, right? After the paragraph right here, I'm going to just start the Netflix hero form, okay? So what I'm going to do is now generate that form, okay? All you have to do is just type form, okay? Just form and hit tab, okay? That's all I'm doing. Your studio code is smart enough to know I'm trying to generate a form right now. So I'm going to have that form. Then inside this form, I'm going to have two things, okay? I'm going to have two things inside my form. Let me get this pencil again. I'm going to have two things. I'm going to have this particular part over here that says email address, and I'm going to have this particular part here that says get started, okay? It's these two different things, this part and then this part, okay? That's the two things I'm going to have, okay? So that's what I'm going to do next. So in my code right here, just going to minimize that. So here I'm going to have those two divs, those two containers, okay? So I'm going to say .netflix, okay? I'm calling it Netflix because my project is Netflix, okay? Hero, and I'm trying to do the form, and I want the div, okay? Okay? Just away, you can call it whatever you want as long as you remember the name, okay? So I want to create this particular input that you can see I'm typing in here, okay? If you want to type something, you need an input, okay? If you need to type something the way I'm typing in here, you need something called an input. Input is just the way you understand it. Input, it's like you just enter text, okay? So I'm going to have that over here, and I'm going to say my input. And since I want an email input, I want you to put your email there. For the type, I'm not going to say text, I'm going to say email, okay? Type is email because I want you to put your email address in there. If I was asking for your name, I'd just say text, okay? If I was asking for your age or your ID card, I'll put number, but I'm just asking for your email. So, and then the placeholder, I know probably don't know probably you know, maybe you don't know, but then just going to show you what a placeholder is. So a placeholder is this particular text here that says email address, okay? Because if you don't put it there, I'm just going to see the blank screen, but I'm not going to understand what you want. So if you say you want my email address, then I'm going to see, okay? You say enter your email address so that I see that you want my email address, okay? It's just like information, okay? So after I do that, put my email address in there, then I'm just going to have the other div that kind of submits, and I'm just going to call it, okay? I said a class is an identifier, it's like your national identification card, right? It identifies you. So this particular text over here, this class identifies this particular div, okay? So I'm going to put another identifier and call it Netflix hero form button, okay? Just like that, guys. It's just that simple, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this text that says get started and then this icon, okay? So so for the text, I can just say get started, okay? Okay. But then I want to show you guys something else because I think it's very important. Like as a developer, you need to know where to find resources, okay? So right now you've just been given a design, okay? And that design requires the use of particular icons. Like this is an icon, okay? It's pointing towards the right, it's an icon. So it's really good to know where to get icons, guys. So the best place to get icons probably is probably, let's say, Font Awesome. I know probably you have to go Google about where to get good icons, but I already did the work for you, okay? We did the work for you, I know how to get good icons. So if I want an icon, all I have to do is probably go to, let me just show you guys how I did it. I'm going to come here and search for something called font awesome, font awesome CDN. Again, it's not like I knew this from before. I had to do my research and try understand where I can get good icons, okay? So I found this really cool site where I can get icons. So probably you can use this, okay, to get your icons for HTML things. So this is the website, okay? Now, as I said before, I don't know if you guys remember. Hi Abdullah. Okay, I don't know if you guys remember this particular analogy that I gave in our first class, okay? I gave this particular example. I can't come to your house and start ordering stuff from you, right? You'd be like, who the hell are you, right? I can't just come to your house and just start going to your bedroom and everything, okay? Why? Because we need to have a particular relationship. We need to be having a certain form of linkage so that I can be able to access what normal people can't access, okay? We need to be kind of related for me to be able to issue commands to you, do this, do that, right? So it's the same thing. So I can't access the icons. Okay, let me just bring it home, okay? So over here, guys, we have our CSS on this side, okay? This is where our CSS is. But then our CSS can't talk to HTML because it doesn't have any authority to do that. It doesn't have a link, okay? I can't just come to your house and start ordering you to do stuff because we are not related. We don't have that kind of link. So CSS can't just start telling HTML, hey, paragraph, be red. Hey, button, be this, you know? It can't start doing that. It has to have some sort of relationship. Yes, relationship is the best one. So over here in my head, in the head tag over here, I have to come here and just maybe say link to my CSS. Okay. So this is where I'm going to link to my CSS. This is where I'm going to create the relationship between my CSS and my HTML so that my CSS can talk to HTML. And all I have to do is type link and hit tab. And then all I have to do in my href is just navigate to my style sheets. And just like that, my CSS can talk to my HTML easily, okay? So now with that particular example in mind, I want you to have that particular example with these icons, okay? I can't just start throwing these icons into my code over here. Why? Because there's no relationship between my code and this particular website. So I have to link them so that they can communicate. And that's why I am here, okay? So if you check over here, they're giving us links in which we can use to communicate. So I'm going to take the first one. Why? Because the first one is always the best, okay? So I'm going to press this one here that says copy link tag, okay? And I'm going to copy it like that, okay? I'll just tick that. It's not that special. I just copy this link. So I'm going to move, I'm just going to reset my screen again like that. I just copied the first link, okay? I just copied that. So all I'm going to do is now come back to my code over here and I'm going to say link to my icons, okay? Because I'm just linking to a website that gives me icons and I'm going to paste that code, okay? It's big code, but it's nothing really. So now, once I did that, this particular website and my HTML, because I put this link, they can be able to communicate. Just like that. Link is a relationship. Without a relationship, you can't communicate. Good. So with that, now I can be able to navigate now to this awesome website here called Font Awesome. Font Awesome icons, not CDN this time, it's just icons, okay? And I'm going to press the first link, okay? And now I can be able to access every icon here because we have a relationship with this particular website, okay? With this particular provider. So I think this is a very good resource. I spent a lot of time yesterday Googling about it and trying to see how I'm going to find uh, good icons for you guys. I spent a lot of time. So I think it was really awesome when I found this site. So I'm just, for the sake of it, I'm just going to put the links here. So if you want, you can just access them. So now because I want a certain, what do I call it over here? There's a name I gave it over here. Let me just search for it. It's called chevron right, okay? So what I'm going to do is this is where I'm supposed to put my icon, right? So to get an icon, all I have to say is so this particular icon points to the right, okay? So I'm just going to come over here, my icons over here, okay? And type I don't know. Okay, I'm just going to type right, okay? And then let me see what I'm going to get. Right, yeah. And just hit tab. I don't know why it's not searching. Maybe I need to refresh. Okay, now I need to type, right? Good, it's working. So I'm going to take this particular icon over here, click on it, okay? And then it's going to give me a particular code over here. I'm just going to copy that particular code over here. So with that in mind, I'm just going to come back to my code. I got the link, so I'm going to paste it over here. So I just did the whole hero part. So all you have done is get this particular heading started up. We have this particular sign-in thing, and you have put everything here. So let's start styling our stuff so that you can make our website look nice, okay? So I hope there's no questions. Can you record the session? Yes, I'm recording right now as you're talking. This particular thing over here, yeah, it's recording, so you guys are safe. So that's what I'm going to do right now. And so over here, we are going to start styling our site. So I'm just going to close this particular one, or should I have done that? Okay, let me just go back to it again, because we might need it for reference. So so I'm going to do right now is going to my CSS, okay? So over here at the top, we linked our CSS over here with the HTML. So CSS now has the authority to talk to our HTML, okay? So that's what you're going to do right now. So there's a couple of things I normally do. Every developer does this stuff, okay? So these are just kind of like the normal styles over here. I'm just going to go to my particular styles over here. It's kind of like a standard when you're doing your CSS that you put styles that apply to everything in your website, okay? So if you want everything to have this particular style, you put a star. That means for everything in my app, have the following styles. I want you to have a margin of 0. Margin is just spacing. Padding of 0 is still spacing. And I want you to have a box sizing of border box, okay? Just like that. I mean, uh, it works because I mean, it's very annoying when you try to generate something and then you try to generate something and it has a lot of it has a lot of margins and padding. So I want to start coding everything from scratch. And I know CSS can be a bit tricky, and there's multiple ways to achieve the same thing, but this is how I do my own styles, okay? So kindly bear with me on how I do my styles. Probably you're going to find a way that works for you, but if you like my way, you can also use my way, okay? So over here, I'm going to come and talk to the body, okay? Okay, the body is like the big thing, okay? The body is this part, okay? The body is this part. It's like it goes, it affects all my body, everything. It affects everything inside here. So the styles I'm going to put are going to affect everything over here. So I'm going to come to my body over here, and then I want a good font, okay? So, but before we do that, let's just check out what our website looks like right now. Let's check what it looks like. So it's starting up. This is our website right now, okay? This is how it looks like. It looks very ugly, guys. So that's why we need CSS, okay? I know right now you're starting to appreciate the importance of CSS because our site doesn't look that good with CSS, without CSS. So let's see how we can turn we can make our site beautiful. So I'm just going to put this over here so that you can code side by side, okay? I don't know how to minimize this. Yeah, I want to hide that. Okay, so if I press CSC, okay, good. Yeah, it's good. So for the body over here, there's a few styles that I want, okay? The first thing is the font. This font looks particularly ugly, okay? Doesn't look that nice. So I have to go and find good fonts for my site. So why do I get good fonts, okay? And what is a font, first of all? A font is just handwriting, okay? So I need to find a good font. So I have to come here and go to a site called Google Fonts. Again, as a developer, it'll be very effective if you know how to get what you want. Right now, I wanted to get icons. I've shown you guys how to get icons. Right now, you've seen the default fonts, they look ugly. You need good fonts. That's why I'm coming here to look for good fonts, okay? So I already came here and looked for good fonts for you guys. And I think I after going through all these fonts, I went with this one over here. I clicked on it and it's loading and yeah, and I took a couple of fonts over here. So how you do it is you just select, okay? You just select the couple of fonts that you want, okay? And then so you can view all of them, okay? So you can come down here and view all of them, and then it's going to generate a particular kind of link for you so that you're going to connect your app to your HTML, okay? So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to make sure my font don't look like this, okay? So I already generated that link for you guys. So it's right here. Again, as I said, you have to come to your HTML and put that particular link, okay? So it's my font family over here. And the reason why I'm moving a bit fast today is because, of course, it's a big build. Of course, I have to move a bit faster so that we can cover a lot of ground before, we break. So as I've shown you guys, there's Google Fonts. Okay, there's a lot of ways how you can get fonts if you Google it up. Like, how do I add fonts? How do I find fonts for my app? There's a lot of ways, but then I've just shown you guys about Google Fonts, and I really like it because you get to choose whatever you want, okay? So that's what, it's really nice. So I'm just going to continue right now. So these are my fonts over here. So all I'm going to do is come over here, and then I'm just going to put my font family. It's probably this, okay? It's probably that. I'm going to have it like that, okay? And then the next thing I want to do is probably give, you see my Netflix clone is not, the background color is not white. My background color here is white, okay? It's sort of black. It's not completely black. It's just kind of black, okay? It's just kind of black, but it's not black. The background color over here, okay? It's just black, but it's not black. I did the research for you. I went online and tried to look for a good color that fits. So I'm not going to start diving, but all I did is come here to a site called, it's not even a site, I just said color picker, okay? And then there was this particular part here where I can choose the color that I want. And I played around with it over here until I got a good color, and I copied it and then I pasted it on my code. So I just played around with it, but I got a good color. As you can see, it's kind of black, just not that black, okay? So we don't want our site to be this white, okay? We want it to be black like our Netflix original, okay? So what I'm going to do is make sure that that is what happens. So, and the color has this particular color. As I said, I'm just going to refer to what I did before because I don't spend too much time debugging. So this, just say background color, okay? That's what I'm saying. CSS is just like conversing in English, okay? This is that simple, just like conversing in English. I mean, I don't want my background color to be red, just say background color, okay? Don't want my color to be white, just say color white, okay? It's not that difficult. It's not like, it's not even programming. So I'm not expecting like you have a lot of trouble over here. And again, the more you do CSS, the better you become. So yeah. So let's talk about this part over here. My hero section content, okay? Or my wrapper itself, okay? The wrapper itself. So I want it to have that also background color, but you already had that, so I'm not even going to repeat about that. So let's just try to make our site look a bit efficient, because right now it looks like this, okay? This is not what you want, okay? This is not what you want, okay? We want this, okay? So that's what you're going to do. So over here, I'm going to look for the hero section, okay? It's the container that houses all my hero stuff. The container that has this background image, the container that has all this particular text. And I'm going to issue a couple of commands to it. And what commands am I going to give this? I'm going to say, I'm just going to copy it, and then I'm going to come here and I'm going to tell my CSS to go over there and make the width 100%. Width new banner at 100% means like let it fit the whole screen, okay? The width, okay? And then let the height, I don't want the height to go like 100%, I want it to be like 80%, but I'm using the viewport height over here. So something like that, okay? Good. Now, this image is particularly big, okay? I want it to be a bit smaller and I want it to adjust to this 80 viewport height. So how am I going to do it? Remember, for our image, you give it a specific ID. It's called Netflix PG, okay? So I'm going to call it and tell it, hey, we don't want it to be that big. We want you to fit this particular height, okay? So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say Netflix hero section. I'm calling it its parent. Its parent is this Netflix hero section, okay? And its particular ID is this. So it's like I'm calling the parent and then I'm calling the child, okay? You're going to see me do a lot more of that. Since it's an ID, I need to put the hashtag. Then it's called Netflix BG, okay? Now I'm going to tell it for the width, be 100% like your parents, but for the height, I want it to be also 100%. 100% meaning you'll be only 80 viewport height, okay? So, and then, so I'm going to show you guys another problem over here. So if I come back to my code, you're going to see it's all stretched up, okay? Yes, it's the 80 viewport height. It's not like the whole screen, but then it's all stretched up. To make sure it looks nice and warm and okay, is this particular command you have to give it. Say object fit. I want you to fit cover, okay? I want you to cover the whole page, okay? I want you object fit, I want you to fit, okay? Fit, I want you to stay there and I want you to cover the page, okay? That particular part. And then it looks like this, much better, right? Much better. So we need, see this is not this, okay? We need these headings and everything on top of the image, okay? On top of the image. So how do we do that, okay? How do we put this text, right now you can see because the background color is dark and the text is black, okay? How do you put that on top of this image, okay? Let's see that next. Okay, so for the content, right now I'm trying to style the content. The content is down the top bar and everything, okay? So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say for my hero section content, okay? I'm going to have position absolute, okay? Default, it's relative. I'm going to say absolute because remember at the end of the day, I want my text on top of the image, okay? If I say relative, then this text cannot be on top of this image. It will be pushed down below the image. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Viewpoint height ni kenye tu unaona. Height ni urefu, si ndio? Urefu from top to bottom. Viewpoint width ni upana from left to right. Okay, that's the difference. Viewpoint height is referring from top to bottom. Viewpoint height, width is from left to right. I hope that makes sense. Width, height, you know, all that. Okay, so yes, occasionally you can put your questions here. I'll come back once in a while to answer your questions. So I just said you have to put it position absolute, okay? So, and then I want the width to be 100%, okay? To cover the whole screen. I want the height to be 100%, okay? And then I want the top to be at the top. I want the top to be 0. That means it won't go below. It will start here from the top of the screen, okay? So if I say top like 10 centimeters, then it's going to start 10 centimeters below the top, okay? So if I say top 0, I want it to stay at the top, okay? Good. So padding, padding is just like, but anyway, I'm just going to show you guys what that means. So once I have that, now you can see my text has come on top of the image. So then the next thing is try and make it a little bit better because I need this kind of in a flex from left to right, okay? So that's what I'm going to do next, okay? This, what you have here is not this, okay? So that's what I'm going to do next, okay? So I just did that, okay? But then if you notice over here, my text is touching the corners, okay? It's touching the top and it's touching the left, the sides, okay? So the reason why that happens is because over here at the top, we said that the padding should be 0 and margin should be 0. That means by default, you should not have any margins or spacings, okay? That's why it's kind of fitted up to the screen. That's what I wanted initially because I don't want it to have like a default padding or margin. So that gives me the power I need to specifically tell this content to move to wherever I want, okay? What do I mean by that? Now I can just come and tell it, hey, I want you to have the following particular styles. I want you to have padding top. That means space kutoka juu to be 10 pixels. Padding left, space kutoka left equal 40 pixels. Okay, maybe the international students here. Okay, padding right, I just use English from now on. Padding right, 40 pixels. Space from the right to be 40 pixels. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So I'm just going to save that and I'm going to show you guys what I mean. As you can see right now, there's space. It's not fitted up to the left side of the screen, okay? So, but then as you can see, I can't see even my text, okay? The image, the background image is just too bright and my text is just, my background image is too bright. So what do I do? Oh, okay, you remember we put an overlay over here. Where did you put it? There was an overlay somewhere here. Where did you put the overlay? Put the overlay somewhere over here. So what the overlay does, it just darkens the image, okay? It darkens the image so that you can see the content, okay? So that's what I'm going to do over here. I'm going to come down here and put the dot overlay. Misspelled that. So I'm going to show you guys again why I'm doing what I'm doing. The dot overlay. So again, as I've shown you guys the problem that you're having. So the text, okay, the background image is shouting too much, so much so that I can't even see the text, okay? So that's what I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to put the overlay over there. Then I'm going to come down here. Where's my CSS? I'm going to come over here and just kind of do something with my overlay. So I need it to darken that image, okay? So I need to be positioned absolute. Why? Because I want it to be on top of the image, okay? Then I want it to be at the top 0. Why? Because I don't want any spacing from the top. I want it to be left 0, start from the left. I want it to have a width of 100%, okay? Just fill the entire screen. Width new panel from left to right, just fill the entire screen, okay? And then for the height, okay? The height has to be the same with this, okay? The height has to be the same with this, okay? So the height, since it's 80 viewpoint height, I have to say the same thing over here. Viewpoint height, okay? Like that. And then to darken it up, I have to give it a background color, okay? I already did this research for you, so I'm not going to go online and start looking for another background color because of time. So this is the background color that I found that could fit, okay? It's kind of black, but then I want you to notice something. Now, if I save this, I should be able to save this and something should happen. I have to save everything. If you see, now the background image is a bit darker, okay? I'm going to change the text of this stuff to be white so that you guys can see, but it's much darker. So the higher the number I put here, like I could go to like 9, 8, but then the image would just be darkened too much. Now you can't see anything. So you have to put it like 7, 8, okay? It's the best one so that you can see the background image a bit, okay? So you just darken it as much as you want, okay? So if you want it to be lighter, you go all the way to around 2. You just decrease the number, okay? Good. So with that, then I'm going to start talking about the top bar. The top bar is this particular Netflix header and this particular sign, okay? I want them to look like what they're looking like right here and not what I have here. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So here in my CSS, I'm going to come here and maybe this is probably where the main styles start, okay? This is where I'm just going to fire off commands, okay? So the parent is this hero section content, okay? Hero section content, okay? I'm trying to style this particular logo and this particular stuff. Okay, so I'm going to call this particular parent over here. Okay, it's called .hero section content, and then I'm going to call this top bar because I want to style this particular stuff inside. I want to style the logo and the sign in. Okay, I'm calling it. That's the reason I taught you about creating an external, because if you are just giving all these styles inside our HTML, then everything becomes so complicated quickly. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do over here. I'm going to say .hero top top bar. Okay, and you have to make sure the name over here is the same name over here, because if you don't, then the styles won't apply. The CSS will go there and be like, I can't see such a person, so I won't style that person. So the names have to be like that. So as you can see, the Netflix logo and this particular sign-in thing, they are moving from left to right, but here they are moving from top to bottom. So how do we ensure they move from left to right? Can you guess it? Yes, you guessed it right. It's flex. Display flex. It will put them from left to right. Good. That's what I'm going to do over here. I'm going to say display flex. Okay, display flex. Display flex like that. Okay. So when I save it like that, you're going to notice that now Netflix and this sign-in thing, they're not moving from top to bottom. They are like from left to right. Okay. So after that, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say justify content, okay, space between. Okay, so what space between does, it ensures that it puts those two particular things, that's the Netflix and the sign-in, as far away from each other as possible. So you can see the Netflix is here and then the sign-in is here. Okay, that's what it does. Okay, and then I'm going to ensure that they align at the center. Okay, align items center. Okay, so with that, I think I'm done with the top bar. Now I'm going to talk about this particular heading over here, the Netflix. I want it to be this beautiful, okay? Not what I'm seeing right here. So for the heading, I have to call it again. It's at the hero top bar, okay? It's under the logo div, okay? And it's a H1, okay? Okay, you be as specific as possible. What specifically do you want to style? I'm telling my CSS, go to my HTML, okay? If you go to my HTML, you're going to find this particular person called hero top bar. Inside hero top bar, you're going to find this particular person called logo. Inside logo, you're going to find a heading one, okay? I'm being as specific as possible. I'm telling my CSS exactly what you need to style. And that is programming, saying explicitly how you want your program to function, okay? So I already did the research for you guys about the Netflix colors, this particular red color. So I won't go online again and start searching. So the Netflix color is normally this color over here. Okay, that's the Netflix color. And then I want the font size to be huge. Okay, the font size to be around 55 pixels. I want it to be huge because it's a logo. I want it to have a cursor pointer. Okay, and I want it to have a font weight. Font weight is Uzito, okay? Just Uzito, how bold is it, okay? How bold is it? So now if you come back to my code, we can see the Netflix thing is there. Looks really nice, guys, right? Starting to make shape, okay? Okay, close enough, but we're getting there, okay? Looks like that. So then I need to style this particular, I need to style this sign-in thing. So that's what I'm going to do. I need to style this sign-in, okay? So how do I do that? I need to be specific again. Again, it's under hero top bar, okay? It's under hero sign-in, okay? And it's a span, okay? You have to be specific as possible, okay? As I said, CSS is like the Wild West, okay? You just have to find something that works for you, okay? So again, there's multiple ways of achieving the same thing. So this is how I do it. Somebody else probably does it differently, but yeah. So this is how it will look like in the end. How the background color is the Netflix color. The text has to be white so that you can see it. Okay, it's white over here. And then the padding, that is the spacing. Okay, I want it to be like 10 pixels because if I don't put the padding, look how ugly it is. then it looks something like this. Okay, it's not good at all. I need to have a padding. Okay, 10 pixels like from top to bottom, 18 pixels from left to right. Good. And then if you notice, you can see that did I save this? I didn't. So if I come here, you're going to see that the border here is kind of rounded. Okay, all I have to do is say border radius. Okay, I can say 4, 10, all the way. So you guys know that. So let's talk about these unlimited movies and everything. Okay, it's this stuff over here. It's not what I'm seeing right now, so I need to change it. I need to put some particular styles to it. So I need to come over here and say dot Netflix. Okay, hero. uh I slept around 4 a.m. yesterday trying to make this work, and it was nice, of course. That's why I'm not like going to bore you guys with the with the nitty-gritty, like going online and trying to search for the Netflix color. I mean, you can just come over here and search Netflix colors, and get that red color. It's not that difficult, okay? So probably you know that. Opacity, how opacity works is opacity kind of, yes, the opacity can work, but how it works is if you give the background image, if you give this, you see the background image in this particular thing, if you give the background image in the CSS rather than if you put it in the CSS rather than put it in the HTML. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Hello? Yeah? Iko huko Mark. Huko kwa sitting room, kwa meza huko. Okay, nilikuwa nimejimute. Apologies for that. So that's how it works. If you put, like, for example, if I came to my HTML and in here, that's why I said like background image, and then I put the image over here, that's where I have to put the opacity. But that's why I'm saying there's multiple ways of achieving the same thing. But how I did it is I put the image in my HTML. That's why I'm saying absolute, so that my text can come on top of the image. So there's a lot of ways to achieve the same thing, Mary. So yours is also correct. Okay, nice. So I need to I also need to style this stuff over here. So that's what I'm going to do over here. So it's the text over here. So I'm just going to copy that, come over here to my, oh, it's already there. So it needs to have, there needs to be some space between this text and the Netflix thing, okay? There needs to be like a lot of space, okay? That's what I'm going to say right now. So how I put the space is by saying margin top. I need to turn down this so that you guys can see better. I'm going to turn off that. So margin top, I'm going to give it like 9%, okay? That means space from the top be 9%, okay? Then I'm going to say text align center, okay? Right now, the text is from the left, if you can see that, right? The text is from the left. If you look at this, the text comes from the left. But I want to show you guys, if I say text center, how it is going to come to the center of the screen, okay? So if I come over here and save and do that, then the text comes to the center of the screen. Simple. And the reason why there's space between Netflix and this is because I said have a margin top of 9%, okay? Just pure English, man. Just like that. And then I want it to have a color of white, okay? Just like that. And when I do it like that, then I come back, then you can see how it looks like over here. Again, it's not the same, so I need to do a lot more work, okay? So I need to come over here and I need to handle this H2 thing, okay? This heading 2. I need to make it look nice. So I need to come down here and then I need to say for my text dot Netflix hero text, go to the heading 2, okay? And increase the font size, okay? Increase the font size to something like 3.8, okay? Here yesterday, I remember I had to play with a lot of numbers. I had to move from 2.8, but I think Okay, I think 3.8 is the best one. So, but again, I'm going to share this code with you guys. So if you think it should be smaller, this code is going to be yours at the end of the day. You can just play around with it, okay? So I need also to style this particular heading 4 stuff. So I need to come down here and say dot Netflix text. For my heading 4, I also need the text to be a bit huge. First of all, I need to have spacing between my heading 2 and my heading 4. So I'm going to give it a margin top of 1M. Okay, the top of 1M. I'm going to give it a margin bottom, space to the bottom of 1M. Okay, I said there's a lot of units of measurement. You can use pixels, you can use M, you can use PC, you can use centimeter. There's just a lot of options for you. You just have to pick whatever you want, okay? 1.5 M, that means font size is the size of the text, okay? That's what I mean. Font size 1.5 M. Font weight is how how much bolder should be the text. I don't know if that's the best way to describe it. 300, if I go to 500, it becomes bolder, okay? 600, much more bolder. So 300 is not much, it's not that bold, but it's a bit bold. Okay. So if I come over here, then we have this, okay? This is what you have. Yeah, it's a bit close. I need to do a few things, I know, but we're going to make it work. So I need to tackle around with this particular thing, this stuff over here. And how did you call it? We said it's called a paragraph, okay? That's how I'm going to come over here and style, okay? I'm going to come over here and say dot Netflix text, go to my paragraph, and I want you to do something to that particular paragraph. I want it to have a margin bottom, okay, of 1M, okay? And then I want you to have a font weight, okay? Font weight, nimesema it's how bold should it be? You see these numbers over here. So 900 is it's like way much more bold, okay? Then 100 is thin, okay? It's not bold. So I think you just have to play around with it. This is where your design skills come in, your design skills. So again, as I said, feel free to play around with this code once I push it to GitHub with you guys, and then I'm going just to share the code. So like that, font weight, I have that, and then I have all that. Then let's see what we have. Yeah, it's something like that, pretty similar. Okay. Now I need to tackle this. I need to tackle this particular stuff over here. So how do I do that? So it's the form, right? It's this form, okay? It's this form that I need to that has everything over here that I'm seeing. So that's what I need to style. It should look something like this, okay? I know it looks ugly, okay? So how do I do it? So I come back to my styles, of course. It's in the styles. Then so it's called Netflix hero form, okay? I call it over here. I'm telling my CSS, go over there, get this guy, okay? And go to this form, okay? And then I want you to display flex, okay? Remember, flex is from left to right. I hope you remember that. Then I want you to align item center. Every time you display flex, make it a habit of saying align item center. Why? Because you'll notice that there's something does not look perfect, but then if you put this text, it looks perfect. Okay, as I said, this depends on how you see stuff. So if you don't need this particular command, you don't need it. But I'm just saying, make it a habit that when you say display flex, you use align items, okay? And then justify content center. So what I mean is that is because when I say display flex, this one misbehaves, right? It misbehaves. It moves away from the center and then starts going to the left, okay? So I need to find a way to make this particular form come back to the center of the page. So that's why I'm going to say justify content center. Justify content center, okay? This one moves stuff. I'm not sure if this is how you comment in CSS. Let me see. Yeah, this is how you comment in CSS. So this is how you move from left to right, okay? I'm trying to leave some small comments that when you ask yourself, what does he mean by displaying flex? You can see, I just meant to move from left to right, okay? Wow, time is really moving fast. It's 9, okay. Okay, so with that in mind, now I need to start deciding how much longer should be this input than this, okay? If I come over here, I can see that this form takes more space than this particular get started button, okay? So I need to decide that, okay? So I need to come over here and decide how much space this div is going to take and how much this div is going to take. So I'm going to come over here, get this, okay? So I'm going to get it over here and paste it. Again, it's a class, so I need to start with a dot, okay? Don't forget that. If you do, then an error is going to come up. Then I need to decide how much space this particular button should take, okay? Over here. Don't forget to start with that dot, like I was just about to forget. And then I need to say, I need you to be 3 times. So if I look at this, I'm like, probably 3 times bigger than this red part. So that's what I'm going to say. I need you to be flex. Since I say display flex, I'm going to say flex, be like 3%, okay? And then this guy, just be like 1%, okay? 1%. Again, if you say 2%, it becomes bigger. So I'm going to share this code with you, so feel free to play around with these numbers until maybe it looks much more perfect for you. So now it looks like this, okay? Now this one is like like much larger than this. So I'm going to do is come down over here. So I need this particular div to be white and stuff. So I need to come over here and say for my Netflix form div, okay? I need the background color to be white, okay? Because mine over here is white. I need mine to be white. Right now it's black or something. I can't even see it. It's white, okay? Then I need a padding. Padding is just spacing, okay? Padding. Okay, I need it to be like 10 pixels by 5 pixels. 10 pixels top to bottom, and then 5 pixels. No, yeah, something like that. Top to bottom, like, yeah. So, and then when I do it like that, I have something like this, okay? Looks something like that. But then mine is rounded here at the corner, at the edges of, okay, it's rounded. So mine is not, looks like a rectangle. So I need to specify some border, top, left, radius, okay? So this is what it looks like, okay? So it's just what you're reading here. Border, top, left, radius. Okay, let's see what that means. I'm saying for my border, top, it's at the top, it's at the left side, and I want the radius to be something, okay? Just what I'm doing over here. And then just affecting the bottom part. So when I come here, it's just what I said, okay? So, and then I need the input. The input is now this particular input, okay? How do I want it to look like, okay? So this is how I want it to look like. I need to go to my form like that. Go to the div that's housing it, Netflix hero form, the form div. Okay, Netflix hero form div, okay? This one. Again, you can see I give my classes meaningful names so that I know what I'm doing. And then I want you to fill the entire box, which is this one. That's what I'm saying with 100%. I want you to have a padding, okay, of 10 pixels by probably 5 pixels, okay? Something like that. And then when I do it like that, then it looks something like this, okay? Looks something like this. But then you can see there's this ugly kind of border inside. So how do I do that? All I have to say is say border. I don't want it to be a border, so I'll say none, okay? And then I want the font family to be different. So I'm going to say something like this. I did the research for you on which font you should take. And then the font size is how much larger should the text be from its default kind of uh, size. So it should be like 16 pixels. Okay. You can play around with it and see how it works. So if I do it like that, oh my goodness. So body is none. I have to say outline also. Otherwise that thing won't go. So I have to say outline none. So if I come back, yeah, it's gone. So that's done. Let's check out how to style this. Okay. So how do I do it? Okay, it's called Netflix hero form button. Okay. So I need to come to my form, okay, over here, Netflix hero form. And then I need to talk about Netflix hero form button. Okay. I need to call it's this name I'm looking for. This identifier. It's what I want to style. Okay. As you can see, I'm just telling CSS exactly what to style. Okay. And how do I tell it how to style? I'm telling it to go and check its particular name. Okay. So that's how I want you guys to kind of do your CSS. Okay. Yeah. Can I get the record? Yeah, sure, man. We are recording. Yeah, it's being recorded, so I think you're safe. So, so I'm just going to continue like that. So over here for the button, I'm going to give it a couple of styles because right now it doesn't look that much good. Okay, it doesn't look. I'm just going to hide this again. Just it doesn't look that good. Okay, so how am I going to do it? I'm going to give it a lot of styles. I'm just going to kind of copy them and paste them because, wow, it's 9:13 and we need to be done by 10, which now look at it, I'm not so sure. Background color to be this Netflix color. The color to be white, okay? This, I can just change this to be white. It's nothing out of the ordinary, okay? Just white. Padding is spacing. You already know what border top right radius does. It just kind of makes it kind of rounded at the edges. Display flex just means from left to right. So gap means the spacing, gap means space, right? So yeah, so that's what I mean. So if I come over here, font size is just the text size, okay? So when I come over here, it looks something like this, but then this is ugly, right? So how do I change that? So how I change that is probably, there's a way, oh yeah, I know how to change that. So probably I'll come over here. So it doesn't look really good because if I come over here, it's not the same thing. So probably I need to change I need to admit someone in. So I need to change this to around 1. I put 0.2, but it should be 1. So now if I come back, it should behave. Yeah, it's not no, it's behaving now. Okay. Now you see it was huge because I said it should be like 2%. But I said now 1%, now it's behaving, right? It's not like going out of proportion. Okay. So it's not that much different. Again, feel free to trick around with it and all that. But I think with that, it's a wrap when it comes to the hero section. So the next part I want us to talk about is this particular gray stuff over here. You see this kind of kind of separating the particular sections. Okay, this one. It's like a gray kind of line. Okay, so that's what I want to put. I want to put it over here. So how do I do that, right? How do I do that? So how I do it is I have to come over here to my code, my HTML, and put that separator. So I'm already done with my hero section. So I'll go out of this container, this one over here. So I have to ensure I move out of it. So it's probably this one. And I'm going to say I need the separator, the gray kind of thing. Separator, I don't know, something like that. Okay, like divider. You call it whatever you want, okay? Call it whatever you want. So as long as you understand what it means, okay? So I put mine over there also. I give this, it's just a div, okay? It's really easy, just a div that will separate those particular sections. And then I came here to my styles, and then I gave this, I gave it this particular styles, okay? I came over here, and I called it, it's called Netflix separator, right? All I had to do is come here and give it a background color. Okay, that's that can nice background color you're seeing. It's like gray, but it's not gray. That one, and then give it a height and all that. Okay, so I did that, and let's see if it reflects on mine also. Yeah, it reflects. So let's talk about this particular part. I'm going to move, but I'm going to move a bit fast on this one because it doesn't require a lot of stuff. It's really easy, just images. Okay, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. So let's talk about that. So I need these particular headings. This is probably a paragraph, and then these are images. So where do I need to go put all this stuff? It's HTML. I need this paragraph, and images. Okay, it's the content, it's the structure. So I need to come over here and what did I call it? I called it top selections. Okay, so I'm going to put also that. I'm going to say Netflix, so that when I share this code, that you know what should be, what goes where. Okay, the top selections. That's where the images are. So I give it a very long name over here so that you guys can, Netflix top selection wrapper. Okay. Uh, the reason why I'm giving my identifiers this meaningful name, if I just give it a name like 1 or 2, I'll be like, what is 1? What is 2? Right? I want to give it a name that everybody who comes to my code will be like, oh yeah, yeah, he's styling this. He called it this, so it must mean that he's styling that. Okay. So beautiful names. Okay. Then what do I want? I want these headings and all that. So how do I do that? It's the content. Okay. So I need to come over here and put it in another container, call it selection text. Okay, just text. Okay, and it's probably a heading 4. I'm not going to spend much time typing that, so it's probably that, just a heading 4 that says included and all that. So you guys get that. You know what a heading 4 is and a paragraph is by now, so I'm not going to spend much time on that. So after that, after getting this text done, this particular text done, the next thing is probably to get these images. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do next. And so to do that, I need to go out of my text over here, down here, and then I need to say Netflix, the Netflix top selection again. Netflix top selection. It's kind of another container to house all those images. So I'm going to use to tell my CSS to style these images from left to right, because by default they'll be styled from top to bottom. I need them to be from left to right. So this is what I'm going to tell. Hey, yo, put everything inside you to move from left to right. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So in each of them, like these transformers, there's the image and then there's the text, okay, over down here. So this is going to be a div by itself, and the div is going to contain an image and its text down here. That's what I'm going to do. So over here, I'm going to have another div, okay? I'm just going to copy this and then I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to have that, okay? It's the div. What do I mean by the div? It's this, I've said this image, then the transformers image, and then this text, they're going to be in one container, okay? The container is called Netflix top selection. It's going to have an image and then the text under it. So how many of those containers do I need? I need 3. I need one for Prey, I need this one for Raya and the last dragon, I guess, and then transformers. I'm going to need 3 of them, okay? So I'm going to copy 3 of them. So I'm going to take that div and probably, since I have it over here, I'm just going to just get the second one and get the third one, okay? Just the normal thing, okay? It's just the image and then the text, okay? So it's nothing that much of a deal. So I'm going to come over. Is this the ending of this div? Yeah. I'm going to put it like that, and then I'm going to save. So I'm going to have, so what I have is this div with its text. I'm going to have this div with its text, and I'm going to have this div with its image. So I'm going to tell this one, everything, if each of these div, let them move from left to right. That's what I'm going to say. Okay, good. So that's what I'm going to say over here in my CSS. So if I go to my CSS over here, if I come to my CSS over here, I need to start styling. So I'm going to start probably with this Netflix selection wrapper, okay? Over here, I'm going to say top selection style so that you guys know where each styles are, what each style is representing. So I'm going to have that, okay? But I want the text, okay? Selection text. It's called selection text. Yeah, because I want to style this particular text, okay? So that's what I want. I want them at the center, okay? I want them at the center of the screen. So I'm going to have that. And then it's going to be text aligned center. Okay, you remember what I mean by text aligned center? Now the text is going to be at the center of the screen over here. It's all black, but I'm going to change that right now. So with that, I need to start changing stuff. So I'm going to probably target this heading 4 over here. So I'm going to call the grandparents. I'm going to call the parent, and then I'm going to call it, okay? If you are specific as possible, the better. I could just call heading 4, just like that, okay? But then if I call heading 4, that means every other heading 4 I'll have will be affected, okay? So because I want to be specific on which heading 4 I want, I have to call its parent, okay? Good. So I'm going to give it this Hulu color. Again, I had to Google it up, but yeah, included in all plans. Yeah, this one, included in all plans. So I have that, and then probably now I'm going to style this heading 2 and paragraphs, okay? So again, that's what I'm going to do over here. So I'm calling the heading 2, and at the same time I'm calling the paragraph, and I want them to be white, just that, okay? And now they are white, okay? They are white. So let's continue. As I said, it's just really simple. I mean, once you know how to call what you want to style, just styling is not that difficult, because just like conversing in English, font size, the text size, margin bottom, space to the bottom, okay? All that. So I'm telling the heading 2 to have this font size and this kind of spacing, okay? Just like that, guys. It's not that difficult. So again, I need to give some styles to this paragraph, because if you look at it, it's not this, okay? Okay, it doesn't have this particular kind of spacing and everything. It's not what you want. So I'm going to call this paragraph over here. So again, I'm calling it grandparent and everything, just being specific as possible. I'm calling the container, the big one. Then I'm going inside and taking its parents, then before calling the paragraph. Okay, just like that. And I'm giving it these styles, which I won't explain because I've already explained here. So now if I look at it, it looks something like that. But then you can see how the images look like. They are huge and all that, okay? So I need to do something about those images. So again, so I'm going to come over here. Remember, this is the big parent, and I want the images to be aligned from left to right. So I need to tell this guy, I want you to put everything inside you to be like from left to right, okay? So I'm going to call it over here, like that. Remember remember me saying like you can move stuff from left to right. Now there's a lot of ways to do it, because at first we saw how you can use display flex, okay, to move stuff from left to right, okay. But now we are going to use another one. You're going to use another style. I chose this one because I wanted to show you guys different kind of ways to achieve the same thing, okay. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So instead of saying display flex, this time I'm going to say display grid, okay. But then for it to move from left to right, I have to say grid template columns, okay. Columns, columns move from left to right from your mathematics, okay. Then there are 3 of them, so I need to say they should occupy the same spacing. If I said like the center should be like 2FR, going to be twice the size of the rest, okay, like that. So, and then as you can see now, the images are just huge, okay? The images are just huge, and I need to change the height and the width. So how do I do that? Okay, just change the width and the height. It's just that simple. So it's the selection item, right? It's this, right? It's this right over here, and I'm telling the image to have some styles, okay? So it's what I'm going to do over here, okay? I'm going to say the width to be 100%, okay? But then the height should not be like 100%, because 100% is just too huge, okay? It should be like 630 pixels. And then I'm going to say, just cover that 630 pixels. And I want it to have a border radius. Border radius is the edges, okay? So if I come over here, it's going to look like that, okay? So the border radius like that. But then I need some gap because you see they are like almost touching each other. So we don't want that, okay? So after that, I have to say the gap should be like 10 pixels, okay? Don't want them touching each other. And then I'm going to have a margin top of 4M. Why do I need to have a margin top? Because right now this one and this text ni kazi zimekaribiana sana. It's not like what I have over here. So I need to say margin top of 4M, okay? Just like that. Padding left of 20 pixels, okay? And then padding right of 20 pixels, okay? Just like that, guys, just like that. So now it looks something like that, and I think it's pretty close to what you have, okay? I probably need to shrink this even more, I don't know. But as I said, I'm going to share this code with you guys. So if you don't feel like the height is good for you, you can change it to 650, 850, play around with it as much as you want, okay? Again, this is yours, so you can do as much as you want. So I have this right now, okay? I have this, then I need this separator, okay? And remember you already have it, so all I have to do is copy and paste it down here so that it applies, okay? I need that separator already. So I did it already. So if I come over here, if I come to my HTML over here, I'll see that I probably did it somewhere over here. Yeah, this separator over here. So I'm just going to show that I'm moving to another place, another section. I'm going to just come over here. It's probably here, over here, and I'm going to have that separator over here. Since you already had it before, I don't need to like have it again. So yeah, it's over here. So that done, I guess that done, and probably remember how I taught you about inline styling, like instead of coming to style stuff over here, you can style over here. So remember we used to do style is equals to and give it like a margin top of margin top, okay? Space to the top of like 10 pixels, okay? Don't forget that it also helps, when you're trying to do small stylings, small styles, okay? Good. So we have that, and now we need this particular stuff over here, okay? This is so easy to implement, so I'm just going to implement it. So with this, now I can move on to the next section over here. And the next section is this, where I have this image over here and this text. And as you guessed it, guys, I'm just going to display flex from left to right, okay? It's that simple. Your rule change. You can use display grid yenye nimeonyesha saizi or display flex. People prefer flex, okay? Okay, quick water break. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to do over here, and I call it Netflix download, okay? Because it's talking about how to download movies and everything, okay? As you can see, I'm giving my identifiers meaningful names so that I understand at what point I am in. If you don't, then you're going to get lost in your own code. So over here, I call it Netflix download, okay? So Netflix download. So again, as you guessed it, I need another container to store all that stuff inside. So I'm going to say Netflix download shows or movies. You can give it whatever name you want, okay? So when I'm inside there, I need this image and I need this text. So I'm going to have a container that has this image. I'm going to have a container that has this text. Okay, that's what I'm going to do right now. So over here, I'm going to have a container that says Netflix download, and then it's because it's the image, I'm going to put the image. So I already went out there and looked for the image. It's just online somewhere, and I did download it, so you guys can have it over here. Okay, so that's the image side, and then let's talk about the text on the other side. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to come over here and say dot Netflix download. But now instead of image, it's going to be the text that says, hey, you can download for your family and whatever. So this is what I'm looking for, this particular text, okay? So it's just a couple of headings falls. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time over there. You can check it out. It's just text that says whatever it's saying over there. Okay, this text. Good. So with that out of the way, we can just style it because right now it doesn't look good. It looks it looks like this, but it should look something like this, right? So let's try to see how we can do that, okay? So for my Netflix, as you can see, it's not even that complicated. So I think right here we just move a bit quickly. So over here, I'm just going to say Netflix download shows so that I know where I am at this point. So Netflix download start. So over here, I call it that way. So I'm going to say display flex. Why? Because I want it from left to right, okay? And then I want you to do a flex wrap of wrap. Again, I want you to go out there. I want, if you're not understanding what I mean by moving from left to right, okay? Just come over here and type W3 schools, okay? Again, this has not changed. It's still a resource when you're doing all this stuff. And look for HTML layouts, yeah. And you're going to see how everything is laid out from left to right and all that. Probably there's flex somewhere. If you can find it over here, feel free to just come and say flex, okay? And you get a lot of resources telling you about flex, okay? So yeah, so over here it's going to be like a flex wrap, and then I want spacing over here because you can see there's spacing over here between the image and everything and the text. So I'm going to give it a gap, okay? A gap is just spacing, gap ni gaps, like just spacing, okay? Just as I said, guys, it's so simple, just like conversing in English, okay? And remember how I said justify content should be at the center of the screen, okay? And why are we saying align item center? I just said it's good practice when you say display flex, you also say align item center. Good. Now let's talk about this hideous image, okay? It's just so huge, okay? We need to shrink it down. It needs to look something like this, okay? So how do we do that? Well, I need to just tell the image to have a certain width, okay? It should not be 100%, just have a certain width. Good. So let's talk about these heading 2s and these heading 5s, okay? So what should I do with them? So I'm just going to, since most of this stuff we just did, I'm just going to say for heading 2, have be this big. I want it to be white in color, and I want it to be this bold, okay? The same thing, color and everything. So if the font weight is 500, then for heading 5, I want the font weight to be a little bit lighter, okay? The more the number, the much it becomes much more bolder. Okay. Now it looks something like that, okay? So I still hope that I'm recording. Yeah, I'm still recording. So yeah, so that's how I did it over here. So I'm going to have this separator again. We're almost done, guys. We're not even going to style we're not going to style all of this stuff because you've already started this. It's going to all the styles that you applied here is just going to apply over here. So we're not even going to style this stuff. We're just going to put them in the HTML, and then they're just going to copy what we did over here. So let's see how we can get this separator going over here. So if I come back to my HTML, okay, there's this particular separator over here. So after this download over here, should it be there? No, it should be inside here. I'm going to have that separator over here. And then over here, I'm going to have it down here and save it like that. Somebody wants to join. Okay. So like that, okay? Then I'm going to just have what I have over here, okay? Just the same thing, okay? So that is the same thing. Let me just show you guys. It's just the same thing over here. Just the same thing. So after this separator over here, we're going to have that, okay? So it's the same thing that we had over the top there, just that the text is what is starting. Remember over here, we started with the image, okay? But this time we are starting with the text, the Netflix download text, and then we are rendering the movies. Why? Because if you come over here, you're going to notice that if you come over here, you're going to see that the image is starting over here, but here the text is starting. If the text is starting over here, the image is starting over here. It's just the same trick, guys. So I'm just going to save it over here. And then if I come to my stuff over here, I'm going to see that it's almost the same, okay? Almost the same, okay? So also I'm going to have the same with this. It's just the same thing. So I'm not even going to waste your time too much. I'm just going to copy what I have over here. So it's just the same thing, but this time instead of the text starting, I'm going to have the image starting, okay? And you can put whatever image you want over here, okay? So that's what I'm going to do over here. I'm just going to get this again, create profiles for kids over here. So that's what I'm going to get. I'm also going to get the separator over here, okay? Something like that. So if I come over here, I guess you'll be over here and paste that and save. I think it should be something like this now. Yeah, you can see the image is starting the text, then the text starts, then the image starts. But then I think I forgot something over here. There's something I did wrong over here. This one needs to be commented. And I forgot the separator over here. That's what I did. I forgot this separator over here. Anyway, I know today was a bit fast, but it just goes to me emphasizing more on trying to, doing a lot more on your part. Like those assignments, don't be satisfied by just accomplishing what I just said you should, okay? And that is actually even assuming that you're following along those assignments, because they really help. Because if you don't go through those assignments, then it's really hard when you come over here and you're trying to do a project. You'll be like, what is CSS, right? You'll be like, what is CSS? But if you did the assignment, then it would be easier if you are trying to follow along. So as I said, I know you guys know about boot camps. They take like a whole week, right? Like from 8 a.m. to around, I don't know, like 10 p.m. in the evening for a whole week. But then that is not practical in our kind of environment. I know weekdays people are working, people are at school, so we can't engage you guys at that point. But we are reserving only 2 hours a week. So that said, we can't be as slow, right? We can be as slow if you need, because at the end of this is not only to make you just know about the plain HTML, CSS, you're moving to like React, okay? JavaScript framework for front-end applications. So that means you have to do a lot of stuff by your own, and really for you to benefit from this, you really have to like put your hands on your keyboard, okay? I've talked countless times about W3 School. I'm telling you that's I also learned a lot about web, and the reason why I like it is because it's straightforward, okay? It's just straightforward, guys. Like I want to learn about HTML and CSS, I just click HTML, CSS, right? And they just tell me about that, okay? I want to talk about how to put images, I just come over here, okay? And all that. Tables, list, everything I need is over here. I need to talk about CSS, I come click CSS. And then it teach me everything about CSS over here. So really we can't go through all that content because of time. You only have 2 weeks, you only have 2 hours per week for only this semester. So that's why a lot has to be on your plate. So I think today should be a wake up call and be like, yeah, I need to be catching up with this stuff. So I felt that I should say that because I know I personally think that it was a bit fast today, not like how we have been moving along, but it was a necessity to kind of gear you towards doing a lot more from you. And I think that's a good approach. really up to you. Even at the end of the day, even if I show a lot of examples, it's still up to you to practice. So you have done all this stuff. And I guess the most exciting part is this, because you can check it out playing here and people can be happy seeing what you're all this stuff. So it really brings to life the whole site. So I won't waste your time. So I'm just going to start into that part. Okay. So over here, if you come over here, I'm going to just sit over here and just say trailers, because I'm just trying to show like the best trailers, the best movie trailers of 2020. I think it was 2020 something, the best movie trailers then. And so I'm just going to come over here and just create a container like always. It's going to be Netflix. What did I call it? Testimonial. Okay, I'm just call it whatever you want. I'm just going to call it whatever I called it over here. Item. But then remember, guys, how I showed. For example, over here we have this checkout best trailers. Okay, it's a heading. Okay, so I'm just going to put that heading over here, and I'm going to say check out the best trailers. Okay, just like that. Just this heading. Okay. Then comes the fun part, the images, at the videos. But then each video is going to be in its own separate kind of container. So I need to put first of all the big container that's going to house the containers that have the images, the videos. So Netflix, I don't know why I call it testimonials. Testimonials wrapper, okay? Like that. And then inside, now you're going to have this video, and then this video, okay? That's what you're going to have over here. So dot Netflix testimonial item. It's an item, okay? And then remember how I did it before? Like, for example, if I want this particular video on my site, all I have to do is probably go to Netflix, okay? And not Netflix, to YouTube. It's YouTube, sorry. YouTube over here. Once I go to YouTube, I look for whatever video I want. Let's say maybe this one about Albert Einstein. I'll click on it, and then I right click on the video and then say copy embed code, and then it's copied on my clipboard. Okay, that's just what I did, guys. I went out there and just looked for good videos, and then I just did that. Okay, so I already got the videos for you, so I don't think I should like spend a lot of time. uh I just got the videos for you, so it's like that. It's just an iframe. This is what you get when you copy that link. So just like that. So I'm just going to copy the other two. That one for Raya and the Transformers kind of stuff. So I'm going to have it like that, just like that. Okay. Those videos. Those videos are this one I'm talking about right now. Is I'm just going to hide plotting. So when I come here, this is what I'm talking about right now. Okay, this is what I'm going to show. This is what I'm trying to style. So if I come over here, they look like this. They look ugly, but you're going to make them look like this. Okay. So if I come to my CSS over here, I'm just going to come to my CSS over here, and I'm going to come to my trailers over here. Okay. So the first thing I need to style is this heading 2, because I need to be big and bold. So over here, I'm going to come, and it's called Netflix testimonial something. Netflix testimonial item. Okay, so I'm just going to come over here and have it over here. It's a heading 2. Okay, and I want it to have these particular styles, which you already know what they mean, so I won't dwell too much on that. So yeah, it should look something like that. Okay, something like that. Good. So let's talk about this. Okay, so how do I achieve that? Bear with me, guys. I only have 14 minutes, I guess, and then we'll be done. So dot Netflix testimonial item, the iframe I'm talking about right now. Iframe is this iframe, okay? The iframe, okay? Go and get into each item, find for me the iframe. That's what I'm saying. So what do I want with the iframe? I want it to give it a width. I want to give it a width of 550 pixels, okay? I want to give it a height of 540 pixels. Again, I had to play around with these numbers until I found a good height and width. So again, when I share this code, feel free to play around with these numbers and get whatever you want. So if I come to my code, it looks like this, but then they're still moving from top to bottom and not from left to right. So you know what you need to do, right? I know you can almost guess, okay? You just need to say, you just need to tell it to display like flex, okay? So it's called wrapper, okay? So I need this stuff moving from left to right. So I'm going to come over here and have it over there. And I'm going to say display flex. And I'm going to give it a gap. You know how I'm going to give it a gap, right? So 10 pixels. And then I need to have a flex wrap, of course. The reason I'm saying flex wrap is because when the screen becomes too small to accommodate the three videos, the last video will be pushed to the bottom instead of distorting the screen. That's why I'm putting that. And then a margin bottom, that means spacing should be like 3M. And justify content center. I want it at the center of the screen. Okay. So when I do that and I come back, it looks something like that. Okay. Close enough. I think these videos are much smaller, but as I said, this code is yours after I'm done. So feel free to play around with everything over here. If you don't feel like something was done properly, just feel free to play around with it. Okay, so the next thing is probably the footer, okay? This footer over here. And I'm also assuming you did the assignment and checked out the types of lists that we have. UL means an ordered list. That means it won't be listed like 1, 2, 3, 4. UL just bullet points, okay? So I'm pretty sure you can figure out this much if you are able to do the assignment. It's this particular part over here. It's this part over here where you have this part over here. And I'm just going to share this code. I think I already did in the group. So to the GitHub repository. And I'm going to show you how you can get that GitHub repository into your account into your machine so that you can start playing around with the code. Okay. So I guess I just should repeat this again. More okay, the more you do it, the better you become. Okay, coding is an art. Okay, even if personally I stopped coding for like 2, 3, 4 weeks, there's definitely some stuff I'm going to forget, okay? But somebody who is constantly coding, they just become better at their art, okay? You're a web developer and every day you're trying to do something in web development to become good at it. So that's why I'm trying to show you guys consistency. Consistency is key, okay? So when I give those assignments, go far and beyond. I talked about lists. Okay, just don't do an ordered list. Okay, how do I put ordered list? Okay, how do I style list? Okay, I want you to go above and beyond because we can't cover that in session. I want you guys to do the things that you can do for yourself so that when you come over here, we emphasize on the stuff that you probably need much more guidance on. I hope that makes sense because they only have like 2 hours each week. It's not enough for bootcamp. So yeah. So okay, I'm just going to show you guys how to deploy a site because you're probably wondering how this site is online. Like you can take it, you can copy the link and go to any browser like Edge over here. I don't like using Edge, but you can use Edge and probably paste it and it still works on Edge, right? Yeah, it still works on Edge. So you're probably wondering, how do I host applications so that my friends can probably see the amazing projects I've been doing. Okay. So I think that's a really good thing. That's that is definitely going to be part of next week's kind of session, because right now it's 9:52, and if I start going towards that direction, we are going to push the time limit, and I know you guys are busy with other stuff, so, and I know probably you have something else to do, so I won't go past our time. So I talked earlier about sharing this code, the whole code of of these finished sites, and I've just gone through the code. Basically, what I was doing is just going through the code. Okay, that's what I was doing right now. And the reason why I wanted to go through it is just to show you how you'll be able to tweak things. For example, if you don't like this color, Netflix color, if you want it to be like red, like brick red, you know where to change, right? Of course, you have to go to the CSS and look for it and change it. There's a lot more there, like media queries, because if you just inspect and look at this phone, like iPhone 12 Pro, you can see everything still looks neat. It looks really nice. But then this one does not look nice because you have not talked about media queries. It looks ugly, okay? You can see it looks ugly. But then our site over here looks good. So I'm going to share with you the one that looks nice so that you guys can figure out what did this guy do to make the site be responsive. It's down there. If you go to CSS, it's down there. For example, if I go to my GitHub, I go to my tab over here and go to my GitHub. It's over here. Maybe it's Netflix. Is it Netflix? It's not Netflix. It's Web Fusion probably. Is it Web Fusion? I'm not so sure. It's over here. My first push, probably not one, not that one. So it's supposed to be Web Fusion. I think fast. Okay. Anyway, it's under CSS. It's under CSS. The last, if you scroll the CSS file, huko chini you'll see media queries. Those media queries is what I'm using to make sure that my site looks good in each screen. I come here and make sure it looks good on a Samsung Galaxy. Okay, all that. And if you don't understand what I coded there, then as I said, Google is your best friend as a developer. Go just to a random YouTube video. I can even do it right now. If I come over here, go to YouTube. And okay, I'm saying right now, it probably may not turn, you're like, okay, this guy is saying to make my site responsive, I have to use something called media queries. I don't know what that is. You can just come and say media queries in CSS, responsive design, and you get a lot of people talking about it. Okay. Some of these things is like 10 minutes, 8 minutes, 7 minutes, 4 minutes, 14 minutes. So it's not something that's going to take you like a week. It's something you just read immediately and then you just become good at it. So I trust you guys to do that because I know you guys are like hungry developers, hungry for knowledge. So I trust you guys to do that. I'm going to reshare the link, okay? So maybe you can just get the link. Let me get the link and just show you guys. Like for example, I just shared the link. How will you get started? Okay. Probably there are people who are like, okay, what can you do me a link in Tanzaji? Let me just show you how to do it. Okay. So I'm just going to stop sharing for a minute. Stop sharing for a minute. And then I'm going to go to probably I'm going to go get that link. Should be on my bear with me. Let me look for that link and I'm going to show you how you're going to navigate. Like, for example, you have never like, let me just look for it. Let me look for it. Where is that? I sent it yesterday. Yeah, I found it. So let me just share my screen again. Okay, so probably you're wondering how do I how okay even if you send the link and I'm just going to send it again for the sake of it. How do I how do I make it work? Okay, so I'm going to go to my GitHub right now. Like for example, if I took this link, copied it, copy link address, I went to my normal browser, okay, and I pasted that link and searched, I'll see my code over here, okay? This is my code. You'll see my code, sorry, you see my code over here. This is what you get when you click on that link. So if you look over here, there's this part called code, okay? This part. So you have a couple of options. You can download the zip folder and extract, okay? You can do that. Again, you can copy this URL over here, okay? You can copy that link, okay? So what else can you do? You can go to your terminal, your favorite terminal, which in my case is PowerShell, okay? Navigate to where you want to put the project. Where do you want to put the project? So here you have to be good at navigation. Otherwise, if you're not good at the terminal, you can just take this option, download zip. You just go to your downloads and then you can extract. But then if you're good at this, so you can just move to like CD to your desktop and probably make a directory over here, make directory, call it Web Fusion or something, like a folder. I'm making a folder right now, Web Fusion folder, like that. Then I'm going to move into that folder, Web Fusion folder, okay? Then if this is the second option I'm showing you, you can take this link over here, copy it, and then you'll be like Git, assuming you have Git installed. I already demonstrated how to install Git. You go to just search Git, okay? Just search Git, not GitHub, just Git, okay? Just Git like that. And then it's this one, click on the first link and then go to downloads over here. And then download for macOS, Windows, whichever operating system you're using. So it's just straightforward. So over here, you can say git clone, okay? Make a copy. What copy? Copy that link and just type enter. And then it's just going to make an exact clone, very exact. And then you just open it with your Visual Studio Code and you continue moving the way you have just done. So for example, if I went to my desktop sahi, kuna hiyo folder tumecreate inaitwa web fusion folder. This one. So now it has copied everything. I can see everything. It has copied everything. So I can just open this with my Visual Studio Code. This is another way of opening it with Visual Studio Code. You can drag and drop, but if you are experienced, you can use this. So this is what it is. It's working. It's the whole code. So now you have exactly my code, everything. So you can start playing around, see how I did stuff. If you don't like the name Netflix, change it. You know, all that. My CSS over here, huku chini, that's where I did the media queries. Okay, down here. So you can check how I did it. So it's not a problem. So I'd like to terminate the session over there. I'd like to terminate the session at this point because of time, of course. And I don't know. I'd like to hear from you guys. Maybe I can just stop recording at this point. I can just stop recording.